Now that I'm on trial, right? Like I say, now that I have myself on trial, I have to ask myself questions, right? To get me to understand where I'm at. So I'm saying if I'm trying to establish myself, right? Now I'm wondering, when was I established, right? Because if now I am existing in this confusion, when have I ever truly existed, right? So if I establish my truth in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida on February 20th in 2018 at 9:20 in the morning, what did I establish in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida on August 12, 2008 at 10:40 in the morning? See, this is what I'm saying. If I have two venues, then how do I not have two verdicts, right? If I'm in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida, and I'm in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida, then how am I guilty in the court of public opinion? So, if I was born out of my mother, like Jesus was born out of his mother, and the Prophet Muhammad was born out of his mother, and Moses was born out of his mother. Now, all of these people say that, the Bible says that that Moses had a mother and Jesus had a mother, right? It don't speak too much about their fathers, because Jesus' father, he was by the Immaculate Conception, right? And then Moses' father was a slave. So Pharaoh was like Moses' adopted father, right? So Moses' real father didn't establish him, right? Because Moses' understanding was established by Pharaoh. See what I'm saying? So who then birthed the truth, right? Because Moses had to free the Israelites, and now I have to free myself from the descendants of Jesus Christ. See what I'm saying? Because you are not the descendants of Jesus of Nazareth of Galilee, because you're supposed to be his disciples. See what I'm saying? So who are you descended from if you're not descendants of Saul, who changed his name to Paul, or you are descendants of Peter, who had become a saint? See? But now the Bible says, see what I'm saying, that Peter was cursed by Jesus of Nazareth of Galilee. So then who made Peter a saint? Who established Peter as a saint? And now look at these black ministers, right? Now who established them as religious teachers? If they was denied the right to read and write, right? Well, who then ordained them to teach if it wasn't their slave master, right? Now, here I am, I got to come through all of this slander and defamation in the Florida Constitution, right? I got to use the Florida Constitution to cut through all of this corruption and ignorance, right? I got to use the United States Constitution in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida, and I had to use the Florida Constitution in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida. So who now in the state courthouses, in the civil and criminal courthouses in any county in the state of Florida in accordance with the Florida Constitution? What county, right? Because if I have it in court in self-defense of me, then have not I made a case against the state of Florida? Now the state of Florida has made an illegal case against me. So why then is not my legal evidence, right, exonerating me, and what the state of Florida doing to me is not a crime? Like, how can I work for some corporation in the state of Florida, but I can't work for myself after I emancipated myself. So how do slavery look? How do I establish my bloodline out of my father's enslavement if I am guilty because of my father, right? Or my brother, right? Like, how do I be responsible for me if you making me responsible for my father, right? So now, if my father's gross iniquities is passed on to me, then I'm guilty because of my father's gross iniquities. Now, if I went inside of the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida and removed that slander from my name, well, why would the iniquities of my father affect my children? Well, am I not a father now? So you telling me that the iniquities of my father is passed on to my children? But what about me saving my children from my father's iniquity?